Hey first graders, Mr. Bell here. Let's get started on your next project, and that is the overlapping hearts project. Look at how all four of these hearts overlap each other. The red heart overlaps the yellow heart, and the part where it overlaps in the middle there, well, you end up with orange. The yellow heart overlaps the blue heart, and the part where it overlaps turns green, because yellow and blue mixed together makes green. And where the blue heart overlaps the red heart, it turns a purplish color. So I want you to think about the word overlap when something goes on top of something else. There's a heart. And there's another heart overlapping it. And this is the part that overlaps. I'll shade it all in. Okay? And I want you to think about the colors that were used up here. The only three colors I used was red, yellow, and blue. And those are called primary colors. Primary colors. There's only three of them. Red, yellow, and blue. And by mixing these three colors together, you can make orange, green, and purple. So let's make a little chart here. If you mix red and yellow together, you get, that's right, orange. If you mix blue and yellow together, you get what color? That's right, green. And if you mix red and blue together, you get what color? That's right, purple. Purple is also called violet. And these colors are called secondary colors. Say it with me. Secondary colors. Orange, purple, and green. All right, let's go ahead and get started on this project. Now this project can be done with marker and crayon, and it can also be done with paint. So you choose what you want to use. And first thing you need to have is a heart, so you can trace, or you can draw them on your own and make sure they overlap. When I make a heart, I always fold my paper in half, and I draw, there's my pencil, I draw a heart, or just half of a heart. And then I get my scissors, and I cut through both pieces at the same time. And when you open it up, you'll have a nice heart. It'll match on both sides. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we want to trace this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flatten it out. Put it over here towards the left. On this paper, I folded it in half. Hey, there we go. I fold it long ways. But you can do it on a full sheet, which is what I'm going to do here. Hold your heart still. Make sure it's lined up. Take your time and trace around the heart. Gently. If you keep your pencil straight like this, up and down like a flagpole, it won't go underneath. You shouldn't rush on the tracing. So there's my first heart. Let me make it a little darker so you can see better. I like to trace it lightly first, and if it needs fixing, I can erase and redraw it. But after it looks correct, then I can darken it up. I'm going to place that back on there, and I'm going to move it over, making sure that it overlaps part of this heart, and I'm going to trace this one. And if you're tracing and whoops, you mess up, don't take it off and erase it. Just go back and keep tracing. Also, if you're tracing and it goes on top like that, whoops, don't worry about it. Just keep tracing. There we go. Now I can go in here and erase my mistake. No big deal. And I can darken it up now that it looks right. Now I'm going to overlap it a third time and trace it again. Reach around, go underneath if you need to. There we go. And my fourth one. There we go. 4 hearts overlapped. If you're going to do this on thicker paper to paint, then do the same thing. Trace it 4 times, which I'm going to start doing. Move it over. I'm going to trace it again. Okay, so it's all traced there. Now, what you want to do on the paper one, if you're doing a paper one, you want to trace all of your lines with a black marker. That'll make them show up really well. Take your time. You can't erase marker, so don't go too fast on this part. Really look where you're tracing and try to stay on the lines, okay? Alright, that's all traced with a black marker. If you are doing one in paint, then you want to trace with a black crayon, because that'll block out the watercolor better. Take your time and push kind of hard so it gets on there really dark so you can see it. Carefully. And just keep on going till all 4 hearts are traced with the black crayon. Okay, so all 4 hearts are traced with the black crayon. All 4 hearts on this one with marker. Remember to pause the video anytime you need to catch up, okay? Now, on the paper one with the marker, you will need 3 crayons, red, yellow, and blue. And you're going to color your first one red. Your second one will be yellow, but it's going to go from here all the way to here. The entire heart is red here. The entire heart, even where it overlaps, is yellow. And then the third one is blue. And then the fourth one will be red again. And you see where the red mixes with the blue, it turns a purplish color, your secondary color. The blue mixes with the yellow, it turns a greenish color. When the yellow mixes with the red, it turns an orangish color. Those are your secondary colors, but we're using primary colors to make them. So you would do this. You would color the entire heart all the way in, even this part. Don't color too softly, but don't color too hard either. All the way up to the black line. The black line makes the heart show up really well, but also helps us stop. Then I will get the yellow, And I will color this all in yellow. And you're going to have to push kind of hard with the yellow on top of that red to get that orangish color to show up. See how it's turning kind of an orangish color? Yeah. All the way in here. Pushing kind of hard. Alright, then I'm going to do the blue one, and I'm going to do the red one. So that's the next part. Alright, there we go. Red and yellow makes orange. Red and yellow are primary colors. Orange is a secondary color. Blue and yellow are primary colors. Mixed together, it makes green, a secondary color. Blue and red are primary colors. Mixed together, it makes purple, a secondary color. Alright, now that's the paper one. If you are going to do a painted one, it really works the same way. Only this time, you use paint. Now, when I'm painting, I often like to, there's my water. I like to test my paints over here first, up in the lid. And watercolor paints will come out looking kind of pink at first when you're painting on your paper. So I'm going to paint. See, it looks kind of pinkish. So you have to go over it again till it ends up looking red. But it's okay if you want to leave it kind of a pinkish color. Stopping at the black crayon lines. And always remember to wash your brush off. Drag your brush along here to get the extra water off. Before you go to a new color, always wash your brush off. Especially before you go into yellow. So I'm going to wash it off a second time just to make sure there's no red on there. Then I'm going to go into my yellow paint. I'm going to paint this entire heart yellow. I haven't done that part yet. I'm working up to it because I know I'm going to be getting some red on this brush, so I want to do this part first. Now I can go in here, get some yellow paint on here, and the yellow on here, and it'll turn an orangish color. See that? Isn't that neat? Now I'm going to my next primary color, blue. So I've already done red and yellow. It made orange, a secondary color. Back to a primary color. I'm just going to go along here, along the black lines. Get a little bit more water on my brush so it spreads a little better. You don't have to paint it terribly dark. Try to stay inside your crayon lines. I want to paint a little slower than I'm painting. I do have to finish this before 15 minutes. And now I'm going to do the blue on top of the yellow, and voila, it turns a greenish color. Wash my brush off, go back to red, and paint this one red. I like to get all this part done first, then I do the overlapping part. So I'll go back to this primary color, red. A little bit more water in my brush. Ooh, look at it turning purplish. It's not a perfect purple, but it's purple enough. And there you go. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, red. All right, boys and girls. It's that time to wrap it up. And let's take a look. The marker and crayon one, the crayon and paint one. All right. You have fun with this. Can't wait to see yours. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.